Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freakz with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Every episode is about one singular movie, and of course we'll introduce this episode's movie in a little bit. But first, let's introduce ourselves. I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I am here with...
Grady Waffle.
Daymation.
And Coco Gamer.
Oh, how are we doing today?
Doing good.
Not so bad. How about you?
You know, a little depressed after the Browns' loss, but we're still trucking, huh?
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
doing
sure.
fine.
Yeah.
It
Nothing,
is what
nothing
it
wrong
is.
here.
Got some Chipotle.
Ooh, Coco.
What you get?
You know, Coco's got a job now. He can get any food he wants.
Free steak tacos. Cheese.
Ooh,
Tacos.
Yummy.
tasty.
What did everyone else have for lunch today?
I haven't eaten anything yet today. But I woke up like an hour ago, so.
I had some buffalo chip dip. That was about it.
I had wings from Wingstop.
Ooh.
So I guess I ate the most out of everyone today, which I will wear as
Yeah.
a badge of honor.
Do it.
All right. Coco, you recommended a movie for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce it for us, please.
So, as a Marvel fan, even though it's kind of Marvel, but it's not in the Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I recommended Deadpool because I thought, one, we could all use a laugh, and plus, two, I haven't watched this movie in a while, so I think it's like, hey, after all these movies, I wonder what's my reaction to this now. So, Deadpool came out in 2016, and the description is a wisecracking mercenary gets an experiment on and becomes immortal, but ugly, and sets out to track down the man who ruined his looks. Some actors, just to get some: Ryan Reynolds, Marina Baccarin, T.J. Miller, and John Cohen, Sony, Ed Sheeran. But past that now, but I wanted to start this conversation by, what did you guys think of the opening scene? Because I didn't really appreciate, not appreciate, like that start off kind of like halfway through the movie, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It does have a weird start, and then I kind of agree with you. I don't like the, we're here now. We're gonna show you like what happened. An hour beforehand. I was never a fan of those type of movies, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't really think anything of it until you just mentioned it. So
Yeah.
Y'all know I have a pet peeve about this thing, but this movie, it's less of a pet peeve. Like, I'm okay with how they structured the movie. I just wish that it didn't take them, like an hour into the runtime to finish that opening scene because they go back in time so much.
Completely
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, I didn't mind it too much. Like, again, like kind of like Nick, I didn't really think about it until you just brought it up. Like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know, because like before this movie came out, they released that, like, what, Ryan Reynolds released what he wanted to do with Deadpool, so he could, get the money to make Deadpool, and that was just the first scene we come in on with, which is actually in the middle of the movie, but. He was sitting on the bridge, jumping down into the car. Do you guys remember that, or am I?
I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, jump off the bridge and maximum effort. And then, that's what's
So,
said.
I mean, basically, like, they filmed that scene well before the movie actually got funded. And I think they refilmed it, made it a little better, but I don't know, it always just seemed a little weird to me that it's just like, oh, so the scene made it. Okay.
I think that it's a cool scene. I think all the action in this movie is really well done. I think that I think the opening is fine how it is personally, but I think they should have started with, like, I don't know, maybe inside the cab and like bringing him to the bridge so that it, I don't know. I don't know. I'm okay with how it went though. Like I said, it's a pet peeve of mine to like go back and forth in time.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'll give this movie a little bit of a pass.
I mean, my only gripe about it is you don't really like know why Deadpool is kind of like attacking these people, and I don't know. I think they took too long, and then once the other two characters showed up, they're just kind of like, "Oh yeah, I got to kill this." And they show up, and then it's like, then that whole reason why he was going to kill that guy just kind of like, they just kind of brushed it off. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. There wasn't like anyone not familiar with Deadpool would be just like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did like that all the credits weren't actual credits. They were just kind of things like this handsome dude, that annoying prick, this tool, the British bad guy.
It definitely set up the movie and was like, this is not going to be a serious movie. It's definitely going to be going to be comedy.
Yeah. But then again, they go really hard into the seriousness a few times, so you're kind of getting like a mixed bag. And those moments where the movie isn't like firing on all cylinders during like the action scenes really bog down the movie for me. Now, this might just be because I've seen this movie 4 times now at this point, and I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah.
I think every time I see this movie, I think less of it, and this was no exception. I watched this movie in the theaters, and when it came out on DVD, then before Deadpool 2, and now we're here. And I didn't find it, like, besides from the action scenes and during the action scenes, I didn't find it all too interesting. And when the movie is being like Deadpool, where he's doing quips and counting his bullets, and he's talking to he's breaking the fourth wall, and he's doing those things, the movie really is going, and I enjoy it. But once you get out of those scenes, you're just kind of like, well, that joke's not landing for me. This part is really weird. This part's dragging on. Yeah. There's so many comic relief characters in this movie that they did not need, that they just kind of introduced midway through the movie, and it's just like there's too much going on, and it's starting to drag the movie down.
Yeah. I can definitely see that. This was my second time seeing it. I saw it in theaters, and I saw it here, and I went, I remember liking this more in theaters. And so I could definitely see each time you see it, just going, it's just not as good.
Yeah, the part that stands out with me is when he first goes back to his grandma or old lady's house, the blind lady, and he's just like laying on the floor. You're just like, okay, we don't need this. Or they're all collecting the guns, and or the bar scenes when he's at the bars. It's like, we really don't need these. I mean, the one scene where the agent comes in, that's important, but no, we didn't need to know, who's on the kill list for, on the chalkboard, like that stuff. I don't know. Yeah. To me, it just seemed clear.
I felt like I almost felt like there was too many people trying to be the comedian in this movie, but you already have a centerpiece in this movie who is the funny guy. You don't need the old lady coming in. You don't need the bartender coming in. You don't need Vanessa cracking jokes. You don't need like the villains and stuff.
Taxi driver.
Yeah, there was just too many quote unquote funny people, and that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't really like this movie on the 4th time watching it, because all their jokes are worn out, and the only jokes I laughed at were Deadpool's jokes, which makes sense because he's the main figure of the movie, but everyone else just kind of drags it down.
Yeah. No, I
didn't.
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
I didn't even really laugh. I was just like a little a chuckle. It's like, and then moved on.
Well, the thing about the Deadpool comics, Deadpool is crazy. He breaks the fourth wall, and it's not just he breaks the fourth wall. It's because he has problems, and he's psychotic, and doesn't, he has 2 personalities in there, and he's the one always cracking jokes. Everyone else is serious. And this movie went, well, what if everyone cracked jokes? Yeah. And it gets to the point where you're just even some of Deadpool's jokes, I'm just the fact that he always brings up the red suit and stuff and brown pants. The first time I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. But even then, it felt a little it felt unnatural the way he brought it up. which takes away the impact of I guess that was maybe funny, but I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely spent too much time repeating lines over and over again. Like,
Mhm.
how many times do we need to know? Oh, he's ugly, or how many times do we need to know what his motivation is for killing Fran? They keep saying it over and over and over again. It's like, I understand, and I think that like any moviegoer understands his motivation especially after seeing that long scene where he's being transformed into Deadpool.
Yeah. Well, I think they broke the rule of threes for like comedies and like started, three times. Like first time things kind of be funny, second time, third time it's funny again, and then they went fourth, then fifth, then sixth, and seventh.
Yes.
It doesn't get funny again. I promise.
Well, I know it's not the same like emotion kind of feel for the scene, but like in Batman vs Superman, how many times they show Batman's parents getting killed? It's like, okay, guys, we get it.
Yeah. Not as impactful the fourth time. Or the fifth, or the
Sixth,
seventh time.
7th, 8th, 9th.
Yeah. I like to try and compare this movie to the Deadpool video game that came out before this, because the Deadpool video game kind of had it where Deadpool was, just as Tay was explaining from the comic books, he was the guy who was breaking the fourth wall and all these crazy things were happening, and everyone else around him were being super serious, even the villain. And I think that this movie is missing that for sure, because the main villain or villains, if you want to say, in this game are so plain and underwhelming. Like they should have at least bought the rights to a bigger villain for this one, and made him serious and had him be super serious than Deadpool is poking around at him. And I feel like that would have worked so much better for this movie that has a focal point of a singular villain, or the two villain in this case.
Yeah. Also, one thing that kind of annoyed me about the villain is that he kept saying, "What's my name?" I'm like, you can say it like twice, because we all know you don't like people saying your name. But we all Deadpool knows your name. Basically everyone knows your name after that. So it's like, it's just getting old at this point. I did my kids the last one. What's my name? Like, oh my god, say something else.
Well, I mean, that's another reason why I think that he's just a boring villain, because like there's nothing built up about him at all except for, oh, I'm experimenting on people and making mutants. But it's like,
the name Francis.
Yeah. Even him himself doesn't even have that cool of a power either.
Yeah.
I don't feel pain. Okay. That's not
just
a good
like
thing.
didn't have like any emotion into his character, which I don't know if that's like how they said like that's how you got to portray it. But yeah, he's just like Ajax, just kind of
typical villain. I just say my plan before I do anything.
Same with the woman. I mean, the woman was better, but yeah, the woman was better, but she was a little weird, like out of place too.
I didn't understand her fascination with matches. I guess it was really only to allow Deadpool to get out of that oxygen chamber.
No,
that was
it really
reason
was.
for it.
And I didn't quite understand her relationship with Francis. It's like, why are you guys working together? Nothing has shown me why you guys are working together.
Yeah, I didn't explain that. Yeah, just like, it's like, oh, he's just.
Yeah, it's like, is there a love relationship? Is there a friend relationship? No, you just hang around him for some reason because he let you beat people up, I guess.
Maybe she was like the first person that he experimented on.
I think they kind of mentioned that.
Yes, but they didn't really explain that much.
But the thing, his whole plot was, we unlock their mutant powers by doing torture and whatnot, and then we control them. So if she was one of his first experiments, which again they kind of, I think, said, it's like, shouldn't she be wearing a collar then? Like, why would she be like, oh, you tortured the shit out of me, made me super strong, so I'll work for you for no reason?
Yeah, she could beat him up multiple times, so maybe they cut a deal or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she definitely should have been wearing one of the collars to control her, and then it would have made more sense for them to finally get it off, and that's why she would leave them alone. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say this though, I still love Colossus in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think that I think, as I was saying before, where they needed a villain who was super serious. I think it's a good thing that they made Colossus like a pretty, serious, to the point kind of character to really offset Deadpool. And he wasn't having any of his shit, and I really liked his character still, even after the 4 watches of the movie. I still think that he was probably one of my favorite characters in the movie still.
Yeah, and I still like Negasonic, whatever the
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, I think
I don't know why I keep remembering that name.
Well, she does come back in the second movie, and she has
true.
more involvement with it. And I know a lot of people don't like the second movie more than this one, but I personally felt like the second movie was more Deadpool than this movie. But maybe it's just me. I know we're talking about the first movie, but
Yeah.
It all went back to the second movie. The same thing we do with Marvel movies. We start with one movie, then we talk about another movie because they have like the same actor, or it's this next movie, or something like that.
They're all tied together. I don't remember much about the second one either. I was one I saw in theaters. I went, yeah, it was fun. We enjoyed it, and then never saw it again.
I do like how they poke fun at how they don't have bigger names in the X-Men community in
Yes.
the movie.
Yeah.
That's one of those jokes that does fit. And everyone else is just like, let's just ignore him, move on.
It's like it's funny how the budget couldn't afford another X-Men character. Oh, big house, but only 2 people. I like the second one when they poke one. She's like, "And where is everyone?" And you see in the background them closing a door. It's like, "Nah, we're not going to deal with you, Deadpool."
Yeah, I do like that. I did like that scene in the second one. I do remember that scene. The one thing my biggest problem with Colossus, is just the fact that, like, in the comics and stuff, Colossus isn't still all the time. Like, he can bring that still on, turn it off, and I just feel like, come on, just turn it off. You're eating breakfast. Why are you metal?
And I think they kind of I think he's a little strong. I think he should be a little more stronger. I think because I think in this movie, especially movie and second movie, I think he was a little weaker than I think he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did get tossed around by the woman a lot at the end.
Yeah, he did.
I like that none of us can remember what she was called.
I don't think she had a name.
She does. I think it was like Angel or something.
Dark Angel, something super, like you would see on Xbox Live,
Super forgettable.
Very forgettable. That's the truth.
It's because she had no character, basically. She was she was a little better than the main villain, but she didn't really have much of a character. She was so silent.
Angel Dust was apparently her name.
Okay,
Angel
I thought I remember them saying Angel.
But
Sounds
it doesn't
weird.
make any sense. Her name doesn't make any sense to her powers or anything like that. I don't
She's
understand.
just normally strong. She doesn't have wings or anything like that.
Turns out her name was just Angel in real life before she got her powers, and then they're like, "You need to mutant that up," and she's like,
Dust?
Dust, I guess."
It's like perfect.
I mean, you looked at a thing of soap to come up with your name. I can just look at Dust and
Think
add
like
it to
Dead
mine.
Angel, like Fallen Angel, or something like that. That would make a way more sense.
Is she? I think it's actual character in the comics would be my guess.
Yeah,
maybe
she probably is. But who knows?
I'm trying to look it up.
I was say a lot of people would know. We just ain't one of them.
Yeah.
I guess she is a real character, but I don't know anything about her. So
Yeah.
She is an actual character.
she's probably one of those D-list villains or F-list villains that you kind of see in one comic and then they're gone.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Although even D-list villains in the Batman universe get more time than apparently this woman does. Oh, did you guys notice that they threw in a Batman and Robin joke in there?
I think I do. I remember that.
I can't remember exactly what it said, but I remember hearing something about
They
it.
probably can't do that anymore now that Fox is owned by Marvel and Disney.
Yeah. So we have to forget that movie. Just don't.
Oh.
I will say this. I think Ryan Reynolds fits the role pretty perfectly.
Yeah.
You can definitely
Yeah.
tell this is like a passion project of his, and he put his all into the character.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, it's fun. It's like, and I think the reason he started wanting to do it was because in the comics, like Deadpool, like described himself looking like a mixture of Ryan Reynolds and I can't remember what the other thing was, but like, and that was like enough for him to go, okay, I'll be
There's-
Deadpool.
It's definitely a fan service movie because fans because a lot of people urged him to basically do Deadpool, and then if he finally agreed to it.
I don't know if it was
Like-
I don't, because if it was a fan service movie, I think you're thinking the wrong thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was just watching Summer Wins about it.
Because fan service would be like them putting in specific references just for people who are fans of, like, you know, like the Batman and Robin thing. If they had really dug into that, it would have been like, oh, a fan service thing. Or if they had because towards the end of the movie, Deadpool talked about, you know, something about chimichangas, and that's one of his biggest things in the comics and in the video game. And that was a fan service moment, right? He talked about chimichangas. The whole movie as a whole, I don't know if I would say it was a fan service movie as a whole, but they definitely made it with, you know, the fans in mind.
Yeah. No, I
that's
think
what I meant.
I think Ryan Reynolds actually is like a fan of Deadpool, like the Deadpool comics before the
Well, yeah,
movie.
he accepted the role in that Wolverine movie simply because he was such a big fan of Deadpool.
Yeah.
He quoted Wolverine a lot in this movie.
Well,
We're not quoted, but like mentioned Wolverine and like a lot in this movie too.
Well, Wolverine and Deadpool kind of have like a love-hate relationship in the comics and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate that they couldn't have Wolverine in either of the movies. Although Cable's, you know, a good contrast to Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
But Wolverine would have been way more funny.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. But I think Hugh Jackman though was just like, it started kind of a weird feud between him and Ryan Reynolds, but they are friends. Like now they're really good friends, but there was a feud going on because of it. But I think he was just busy and just was like, I don't have the time to do that. And I think this was, you know, this gave him, was like, oh cool, I can do Logan now and just be done with Wolverine forever.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Coco's next recommendation.
Nah.
I really liked Logan though. So
Yeah, that's a good movie, but we can't talk about it too much.
yeah. We'll save that for when you pick it in like two.
In like
turns.
two turns or some whenever I pick it, because I'll pick it sometime. But I know,
You'll
but I
eventually
don't know.
get to it.
Yeah.
All Marvel movies will be picked at some point.
Yes.
All of them.
So what do you guys think of, like, there was a lot of like pop culture reference jokes from Deadpool and stuff. Do any of you feel like, I didn't think they really held up? How do you guys feel?
I'm trying to remember some.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for the life of me, I can't like even remember. Besides from the Batman and Robin one, I can't remember any. Like I remember the make sure that the suit's not green or CGI, right? Was that in this one?
Yeah,
They
that
also
was
had like a
in
Green
this.
Lantern reference.
Yeah, they had a bunch of Green Lantern references, but they just had random references to like 2016 stuff, like the shake weight and things like that. Where it's just like, that joke didn't hold up.
Oh yeah, I cringed pretty hard at the shake weight joke.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, that's been a dead meme for since 2016. So
Yeah, and there was a lot of them like that. That I was just like, yeah, I can see why. Like I can see why I enjoyed this more in 2016 than I.
Yeah.
Like I still enjoyed the movie. Don't get me wrong, I still liked it, but there was a lot.
It did hold up, but it's not mostly the.
Well.
Yeah, like it didn't hold, but it's not mostly that. Like it's kind of a widow. Like I'm like a widow. I would like put down. Like it's not that good, but some of it's not the movie style because since it was made in 2016. It's not really like they had no idea what would happen after and like become dead and all that stuff. Well,
you gotta blame the writers because you know when writers write things in, like, you see it a lot more in like songs. You know, like will they write in, like, during the 2000s, it was like, you know, they would write in things like "email my heart" or something like that, you know, into song lyrics. And nowadays you look back and go, well, that's dated. The same thing can happen in movies where, you know, they put a reference to the shake weight and it's like, well, that's really dated now. You know,
it happens a lot in TV shows like Family Guy and stuff. You know, there's just a lot of pop culture references, and it's just like, okay, none of this like makes sense anymore. to new viewers. And it really, like I said, look at movies like Guardian of the Galaxies was a great funny movie. There's no pop culture references really. Besides, there's a few like Jackson Pollock and they're dated like on purpose because there's a lot of 80 references because Quill's from the 80s, but like the things in it like go, it's good. And, then you're like, that was funny. Well, this one you go, that would have been funny in 2016, but now it's just dumb.
Yeah, since it's like a movie set in current times too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the second movie also probably at this point has some dated references because the writers of these
Deadpool.
movies. The writers of these movies just tried to. They're kind of cheap jokes where you're just like, you could have made a good joke, but you decided to make a pop culture reference that will not hold it. That's funny now, but will not be funny a year from now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I once again, I'm struggling to even remember any Deadpool 2 references at this point. Yeah, I bet if I went and watched that again, I would also feel probably the same way about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, watching him again, I was just like, yeah, do we need a Deadpool 3? I don't know if we need a Deadpool 3.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, I don't think he was, like, I know Ryan Reynolds said, like, actually, I think a couple months ago, he said he's open for another Deadpool because he said, like, oh, the world needs Deadpool right now, so, like, but it doesn't mean, like, a movie or anything, but maybe, like, something, but
I think
Marvel's open for it.
I think Disney and Marvel have talked about doing something. And I'd be fine. I think it'd actually work better to have not do a Deadpool movie, but just bring Deadpool
like in a show or something
into another movie, like just as a character, and that would work better because then you would get that. Oh, look, there's all these serious things going on, and then there's Deadpool, and it's not just everyone's making jokes.
Mm-hmm. Although most Marvel movies are joke, funny.
Yeah, because when Disney came in, they got way more humor inside.
A little bit, yeah.
But I could definitely see like maybe like a Spider-Man Deadpool team up movie happening.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's like the
cool.
The straight guy who he's just he's a kid in school and he's trying to get along, and here's Deadpool messing up his life. It could also see him working with like maybe the Winter Soldier even, like how serious Bucky Barnes is.
That'd actually be cool.
So yeah, it's just things that are in the air that maybe they will do, but something tells me that we'll never
It'll take time. I actually want to talk a little more about Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I like the name, but I'm just surprised that it's so long.
She's an actual character in the comics.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like her character probably had one of the most except for Deadpool. I feel like a character had one of the most personalities in his.
I mean, she was a typical teenager, and she probably came up with her super name when she was like 10 or something. It was like, I'm gonna be this. Yeah. But even so, she was I think a great character because she was in just I'm gonna crack jokes all the time. Basic teenager, where it's just like, everything sucks, you suck, I hate you all.
It's true, though. And she had a real character growth in the end, where she actually complimented Deadpool, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
And then at the end, she's still herself, so it's not like she goes all like new Deadpool 2 character, which name escapes me.
Yeah.
The girl with the pink hair was all jolly.
Oh, her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about her. She's barely in the movie. I think the character growth is like it's not really earned in any way, and there's really not much to her character. I mean, it's easy to say like, oh, she had one of the most personalities in this movie because look what she's acting around. Like there's no one else who has anything special to them other than he's the bartender. She's old and blind, but can hear him masturbating. Oh, the two villains of the movie are freaking slates. Like she's acting with these other characters who have nothing going on. So of course she's gonna have the second most personality in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I would even say third most, because Colossus had a
Yeah,
little bit more
Colossus does have some
personality than
good
her.
personality. I was just thinking that too. Trying to think I had something else to say, but you guys can probably have other stuff too.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I just want to reiterate
Yeah.
that the action in the movie is superb. Like, it's still really well choreographed. Lots of good CG effects. I think my favorite part of the movie is when he's counting his bullets, and he's just being Deadpool, and
Yeah.
he's like,
Good
he's going
Deadpool.
5, 4, 3. Oh, that was dumb. Then he lines up the triple headshot. Yeah.
I didn't care
That was cool.
scenes either.
What was that?
I didn't care about the ending action scene. I thought it was unnecessary, especially with the guys with the guns. I mean, yeah, one of the part funny was he was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" And then he just like beats him with the guy with the gun. But I mean, I don't know. He found all these guns and he forgets the bag. And then it's like, well, there wasn't that many guys. You wouldn't need all those guns anyways. So I mean, I just
Well, that's the
don't
joke.
get the connection there. I guess that's the joke, but I don't know. It just seemed like it was a time waster to have like that whole like fighting the guys with the guns. I don't know.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
The part that I didn't like about the ending fight was how like everything just exploded at the end because of Mega Sonic Warhead Girl.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
was
she was
like,
using like I think the last of her power or something like that. Like, well, not last of her power, but all the engines she had left.
well, I
too.
understand that she was saving Colossus, but like it was a little bit like I don't know. I didn't like how that
The
kind
whole
of ended
the whole
there.
boat falling over, and then he puts her in a glass tube, and that saves her.
The same
Yeah,
glass
especially-
tube that exploded because of fire when Deadpool was in it originally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that part's like I don't think that's gonna save her if your katana can just break through that easily too.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that never made sense. It was like, what?
And there's like not a scratch on it when it goes down either.
You know,
It-
I
And
wanted to.
wasn't it broken from the sword?
That's
too?
what Cody just
There's
said.
like a crack.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more like jokes with like Deadpool dismemberment stuff. You know, I know his hand came off because he cut it off, but I mean, like
You get more-
let's say his head got twisted around and he was having to walk backward and do things backwards for the ending
Yeah.
segment or something like that.
Did that more in Deadpool 2?
Yeah, so Deadpool 2 had more of those
Yeah.
like dismemberment stuff. But
Yeah,
it-
but
not-
still, I would appreciate it more in Deadpool 1.
well, I still would like. Yeah, I like that idea of like the head being turned around, but he's still walking around alive, but doing everything backwards. That sets up some good.
I didn't really appreciate the like scene when like this when he had the
Knife in his
knife
head.
in his head. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I liked
Like-
about the video game more than this movie, because like the video game like went into all of that stuff, and there were like segments in the game where you're walking around without your head and you're trying to control the body with like backwards controls and stuff like that.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You needed something like that in this movie, like something just so crazy like that, and they did it in
Yeah.
the second movie, like you guys said, but this movie just didn't have something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even in the second movie, like he got torn in half, and then the joke was like, "I have a baby penis now." That like there was no like, "Oh, now I have to fight without legs" or anything like that. It was just, "I'm going to sit in this chair with my
Well, that-
baby penis."
And that reminds me, Tay, I didn't like the crude humor in this movie too much.
Neither did
Yeah.
I.
There was,
It was
way too
overused.
much of it, and it just like
Mhm.
it was just awkward, in my opinion.
I get Deadpool like it's supposed to be like the character he is supposed to be a little more like sexual, but they used it like not it was like I don't know like 40% of the movie 40% of the movie was like all these sex jokes. I'm like it's just getting old.
I agree. That's all I have to say on that. Yeah. There was a lot more cringe moments where it's just like, than like actual like that was funny.
And like I said, I mean, anytime I did laugh, it was just like a huh, or you know, I'm rolling on my floor, you know, like dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no like really good belly laughs or anything like that. It was just some chuckles here and there. I think there might have been one like loud guffaw, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't think of if there was one, so there may not have been one.
Yeah, maybe one gahook and yahoo and
Yeah,
but
some goofy noises.
yeah. All right. Anyone else have anything they want to say about Deadpool?
No?
No.
No? All right. Well, let's move on to our final thoughts and ratings, starting with, of course, Coco.
So I would say it. For this movie, while I do have kind of some things against it, it's still an enjoyable movie at least because the action does make up for these jokes that just don't really hit out well, and the action scenes are good. I think the CGI was good. CGI was good. There was definitely some funny moments with Ryan Reynolds because he is a pretty good actor for Deadpool. But other than that, I'll have to give it I'll say 4 out of 5.
All right. So I think I've said everything I need to say. I think the action is good. The CG effects are good. But every other part of this movie kind of fails, especially on multiple watches. Lots of too many comedic characters in the movie. It really only needed like Deadpool being funny and maybe a supporting. Also, I didn't like the villains in the movie. They were too basic. They needed someone a little bit more bombastic for a Deadpool movie. I guess what I'm trying to say is when this movie isn't like shoot your guns, boom boom headshot, 360 no scope, it just drags so much for me. And it's unfortunate that like 50% of the movie is that long dragging scenes of just endless conversation, just reiterating things they've already said during the movie. And then I think the slowest part of this movie is the part where he's trying to transform into where they're trying to get his mutagen powers to activate. And I was just like, whew, I was ready to go to sleep. But like Coco said, the action does bring it back up a bit, and I think that Deadpool as a character is still a good character and funny enough, and that's why I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie was just, just borderline, like, if that makes sense. It wasn't like I'm going to tell everybody, oh, you need to go watch it. It's a Marvel fan. They say, hey, I love Deadpool. I might be like, oh, what about this? What about that? I don't know. It was just like a okay movie for me. I wasn't, I'm not going to write home about it. I do agree with Yemmy that I feel like the more you watch it, the more it might go down because the punchlines and the jokes are kind of stale. I do agree that the villains could have had a little more spark. I would have liked to see more from the Fire Girl, and I know I'm this crazy, but see more from the girls. I felt like the girlfriend, could have played a little bigger role, not the dumb role kind of thing, even though she does pretty much save them. I don't know. I just don't think this movie aged too well. And as I said before, the more I'm probably going to watch it, the more I'm just going to be like, I'm going to give this movie a 2 out of 5.
All right. I can pretty much agree with you guys. This was only my second viewing of the movie, but I do feel like the more I watch it, the more it would drop in my rating. Yeah, I agree with Nick. I would like to see more with the girlfriend. Like, she could have done, I think, a lot more. Or the villains definitely sucked, as Jimmy mentioned. Just the more we talk about it, the more my rating is dropping. And it wasn't like super high to begin with. But yeah, I'll give it it's still an entertaining movie enough that I'm like, but I don't know if I'd ever want to watch it again. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Right in the middle.
We're scattered across the board.
Yeah, we're very scattered.
All right.
Let's go with the highest rating.
It's no October Sky.
Yeah.
No.
No, definitely not.
So, guys, the fan vote happened during the last episode when that one came out. And the winner has been chosen by our listeners. And the winner was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995. And this was requested by Andrew Michael. The director is Brian Spicer. And the description for the movie is: power up with 6 incredible teens who outmaneuver and defeat evil everywhere as the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. But this time, the Power Rangers may have met their match when they face off with the most sinister monster the galaxy has ever seen. Some actors and actresses for this one: Jason David Frank, Steve Carnessa, Amy Jo Johnson, David Yost, Johnny Bosch, Karen Ashley, Paul Schreier, and Jason Narvi, to name a few. So yeah, this one is only available on DVD, if you want to believe that, and DirecTV USA from AT&T. So this is one of the first movies that we're all going to be watching together, in like a community watch, which is going to be kind of fun, I suppose. But what do you guys think of this? Another Power Rangers movie to watch.
Well, when we watched the first one, you all said you wanted to watch this one, and it was going to be better. So
I remember the villains, liking the villains, and I know Zordon's in there. He's always a good classic. And I remember. I mean, I was a big Power Ranger fan when I was younger, and I'm good. I'm glad to revisit it. Hopefully, I like it.
Hopefully. I only ever saw, I think, just part of this movie. Like, my cousin had it, like, when he was a kid, so I only saw, like, part of it while at his house, but I never actually saw the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not a Power Rangers fan, and I think this is going to be another one that I'm going to sit through and just kind of be
lost.
Yeah.
Me too.
But it won the fan vote. I'll watch it. I'll watch any movie that
at
people
least
recommend.
it wasn't Transformers.
Yes, I have to say that. It's not Transformers.
Yeah, not Transformers. Not yet.
It's going to be there eventually.
Tim's going to like, all right, we're gonna pull everyone together. Then we're gonna get in the watch Power Rangers to suffer. I'm not Power Rangers.
Transformers.
I forgot Transformers. Yeah. Then I had my mind and immediately lost when I was going to say something. When I was going to say it.
Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, if you, the listener, don't want to be spoiled for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995, make sure you watch it. Before then, you might have it on VHS in your parents' attic. You never know. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting watch, I suppose. I heard that there's some pretty good like practical effects and makeup and stuff in it, so maybe that'll hold the movie together for me.
Well, also Apocalypse is in it, so from X-Men.
Oh, there.
No one gets that joke, okay?
Yeah. We don't talk about that movie, though.
I know. That's true. I never saw it, but all I know is that
it wasn't
like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers from 1995.
So. I never saw that X-Men movie.
Either did I.
I saw it.
It looked bad, and I was like, nope, I'm done giving Fox my money for these X-Men movies.
It wasn't terrible, but
I mean, you love Marvel movies, so... And like I do, too, but I wouldn't have liked it. I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm done.
X-Men movies have been going downhill lately.
They have been, and I was like, they've gotten worse. They look like they're getting worse, like even worse. I'm not supporting these movies anymore.
All right,
so I didn't see Apocalypse or Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, next recommendation from Tay is going to be Dark Phoenix.
No, I would not do that to myself.
Fan vote coming in is like, all right, so it's going to be Apocalypse, we're going to have Dark Phoenix, we're going to have the worst movies ever, so you guys can watch it.
I hope they like us enough that they wouldn't do that.
Untitled. They're going to want to make us suffer.
That's fine. We'll suffer for your entertainment.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be watching that movie soon. And in 2 weeks we'll come back and talk about it on the podcast. I guess that's all that's left to say. If you want to get your movie into the fan vote, the next vote will come up when Tay's recommendation, the next one Tay recommends his episode comes up, the fan vote will be attached to that. If you want to get your movie recommendation in before then, just leave a comment on the latest episode of Film Freaks with a Z, or you can send us an email at ff.filmfreakswithaz@gmail.com, or you can just join my Discord and talk about a movie in the movie reviews section on there, and I'll also add a movie if you want it onto the fan vote as well, which is what happened with a movie that will be in the next fan vote. All right. Anything else you guys need to mention before we go?
I don't.
No.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Film Freaks with a Z. I'm Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with
Grady Waffle.
Animation.
Coco Gamer.
And we are Film Freaks. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya.